valuable, priceless, memorable antiques that we
We
can't get
cannot
back.
get back.
What's the effect of that financial trauma on us, do you think, Teresa?
Well, I think we still have we work hard and we want to have things in order. So I think that led us to make sure we have a trust or will trust situation. I think
Mhm,
it led
mhm,
us to not spending. We spend what we need and want, but we don't. We save
mhm,
and make
mhm.
sure we have money for others and helping and the things. I think it helped us look at the future and say, let us be good stewards of the money that God is providing for
So,
us.
do you regret, what we did is we actually in the really early 2000s, we took our life savings at the time and we bought those 70 houses.
Hmm.
So, and obviously that was 2002, 3. By 2009, the real estate market crashed. We lost everything.
It was
Do you,
2008, but go ahead.
it was 2009 when I filed bankruptcy.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I got the timeline here, Teresa. Do you regret that decision?
I don't,
Because we talked
don't,
about
we
it
did.
before. We're about to take everything we have and make this decision, which didn't work out well.
Hmm.
Tell me your
So,
thought.
no, I don't regret it now that I look back because the journey has been truly insightful.
So you're
It
glad
has.
we lost everything?
No,
Okay,
it's
you're not
been
saying that.
insightful. It helped me have a different mindset about some things. Um,
You have said in the past,
it
tell me if
was
I'm
a
misquoting you, we are better because of that.
I think we are
That's
spiritual.
crazy.
We're spiritually better in trusting God. I think it took a lot of trust in God to and know that He is truly our provider, and that was growth because I think I could be a little controlling myself in thinking I could do something myself.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
but yes, I think it was freeing almost to go through that now that when we look back at it. It's almost a beautiful experience, even though it was difficult.
Okay.
And you could see how God was working. He was actually, I mean, it was like hands-on working
What I would
during our
say is
time.
what I hear you saying is Romans 8:28 is that all things work together for good, which I would agree with that, but all things ain't good. Does that make
Well,
sense?
yeah, they were difficult, but
Yeah, yeah.
it
So all things
still
work
it did
together
work
for
together for
good,
good.
but so hey, I've had money and I've not had money. I like having money better. Do you know what I'm saying, Teresa?
How did we get to that?
We're talking about trauma. We're talking about trauma. All right. So you mentioned a goal alignment and financial vision board.
Yeah, I think we
So
should have something like that. You need to well, as a matter of fact, when we went through that financial thing, we were making sure that maybe we had an emergency fund.
you mean what financial thing?
When you went through the financial
Oh, yeah,
planning
yeah.
thing
I
and we
got you.
were
I got
writing
you.
stuff down and had
Yeah,
the envelopes and all that, one of those main things
yeah,
in
yeah.
dealing with good goals and alignment and whatever was to make sure we have an emergency fund.
Got you. Got you.
So you had short-term and long-term goals for your finances.
Yeah, yeah. We talk about some of our goals. Having an emergency fund. Hopefully, some of your goals: a debt-free journey, budgeting for travel, for education, for legacy giving. This is something I think
Wait,
most.
I wanted to ask the question. You think this society, the I don't know, the people of today,
Mhm.
want to be debt free? And I mean, do you think they think that's the thing?
That's a good question. I think there's a portion of society that absolutely wants to be debt free. I think there's another portion who doesn't realize the
Importance?
advantages or the
Okay.
importance of doing it. But yeah, I think I absolutely have those people. I mean, Dave Ramsey's built a whole brand on his. If I reduced his brand to one word, it's debt.
Yeah,
It's the avoidance of debt.
hmm,
So yeah, and he has a huge following. So
he
I think
does.
there is a part of society that understands that. Here's what I think. Here's what I think among people of color, given our history and our struggles, I don't think we have the right amount of thought that we give to legacy giving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have sit down and very intentionally thought about, let me tell you a saying that we have. We didn't come from money, but our kids will.
Mm-hmm.
And people think that's, I want my kids to work for their stuff. I do too.
Oh,
But
absolutely. They
but
have to.
but we are very intentional and very conscious about we want to leave more and better. And it's not just money. There's a lot of things associated with leaving a legacy. But I don't think, tell me if you agree or disagree. Black people in America, for so long, we struggle with just enough or not enough.
People of color.
People of color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now many of us have not transitioned to, we've taken care of us. Now let's start making preparations for next, second, and third generation us's.
Yeah.
So I think that's a room for us to improve. And you and I just went through kind of a whole trust, estate planning, revision, putting everything in place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me say this. There are some influencers out there who do talk about generational wealth. There's Earn Your Leisure.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Ross Mack?
I think that's him.
There are people in this space, but let me tell you where I come from when I say that. So I mentioned in an earlier episode that I coach and train entrepreneurs and people in the financial service space. And when I sit down with a certain segment of our population, here are the conversations we have. Hey, Jim, I'm buying life insurance. Actually, this policy I'm buying is for my grandchildren. I had the conversation this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm buying this policy for my grandchildren. Really? Because I already got my children taken care of.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay. But now when I visit and I know these are generalizations, and I know this doesn't reflect everybody. That's why it's called a generalization. But often people who look like me,
Mm-hmm.
it's a struggle. Hey, you need life insurance yourself. Hey, I really can't afford it. And I don't hear a lot of talking about, much less life insurance. Hopefully life insurance on me will extend to you if you're living when I'm dead,
Mm-hmm.
and then our children. But I see people planning generations ahead. I've got policies for me and my wife and children. I'm buying this policy. The beneficiary is my grandchildren.
Okay.
The beneficiary is my university. The beneficiary is my sorority.
My
This
church.
calls my church.
Yes.
My church. And I know historically, and I get it. Jim, we haven't had the resources. We haven't had the money. I get that. All I'm saying is I want to see that changing, and I want to see us aware. And I think we can start with, let's make sure that our family is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And we are big life insurance proponents.
Mm-hmm.
We are not on the only right insurance to buy is term. We don't personally have term. We have permanent insurance. We can get into that whole discussion later. But here's what I would say overriding. Make sure you got something. Don't spend a lot of time talking about what's the right. Make sure you got something.
Right. And the main thing is leaving a legacy of some sort.
Yeah.
And that comes with the finances is important.
Okay, so you want to revisit these goals. You suggest quarterly.
Yeah.
You talk about conflict resolution around money. You say conflict is inevitable,
Yeah.
but intimacy grows when you handle it well. Okay, expound.
Exactly. You just want to create some ground rules for financial disagreements. Like you don't want to pause instead of, or you might want to pause sometimes instead of reacting. You
Okay.
might want to, not blame, not point the finger at one, but say you don't want to say you always or those type things. Those are the negatives. So get away from that. Focus on the outcome and not what you've dealt with in the past. And like I say, sometimes if you have a financial trauma, you need to talk it out. That's what I had to do. I had to talk it out through.
That was part of your therapy. So part of you being in the master's program to become a therapist, everybody was asked to go to therapy.
Yes, we had to go to
therapy. And so we haven't talked a lot about what you talked about in those individual therapy sessions, but apparently part of what you talked about was specifically money related.
Yes,
What y'all say?
Part of that
What y'all
was
talking
it. But the main thing is to deal with your own trauma when it comes to that, and so that you can go forward.
Okay. Now, faith, values, and giving together. For many couples, generosity is part of their financial identity. I think we are givers. I want to be I want to give more. We actually track our giving. We think the tithe, the 10% is just the start.
Hmm.
So we consciously, intentionally every year want to increase that. So how should a couple's faith or values shape their giving?
Well, it comes down to what God has told us to do. We are to take care of His people, and by do I mean, and that's what we do by sharing. We are
And we
taking care of His people.
and we believe the tithe is one of the many blessings with a promise.
It
If you
is.
do this, you will get this. If you give, I will open up the windows of heaven. Now, again, we don't give to get. We just happen to get when we give. It's not the motivation.
Absolutely. But yes, we are to leave that, um, give. I mean, leave that for others to take care of God's people. Is my main thing. Is
And
take